Imagine you have a marathon booked, maybe for summer, maybe for autumn. Now imagine you are in the most incredible shape of your life. The clothes that you're wearing, you bought them maybe 5 years ago, 6 years ago, and you can actually fit in them again. Imagine you have everything that you need, that you will be running a marathon in, the shoes that you will be wearing, the shoes that you'll be training in. Okay, now imagine you stupidly go and play football with your friends, and you haven't played for around 6 years, 7 years, 8 years. And you're like, well, it's just a little bit of cardio. Maybe I wouldn't run today. I'll just go and play football. And that's 2 weeks out of one of your training races, 10 weeks out of your actual marathon, and then you get injured. You get injured to a point you actually end up cracking your bone. Well, what's the worst that can happen? That's the worst that can happen. In your head, all sorts of scenarios are going now. Have you got insurance for the races that you have signed up for? What you're gonna do instead for cross training when you have a broken foot? So many things that go through your head. What do you actually do when you are injured? This is why I've created this video, because I know so many of you would be in this dilemma. Maybe right now, or you have been in dilemma, or maybe in the future you will be in that sort of dilemma. So this is how to stay positive when you are injured. Number one, manifesting. Let me make this clear. Manifestation, that's one of the buzzwords the past 2 or 3 years. People use it to live a happy life. People use it to have a great future. In this case, your future is to heal from the injury so well that you're back to your former self. And that is manifestation. Right now, I think I'm about 2 or 3 weeks away from full recovery. But my manifestation is that I'm wearing my running shoes even when I'm going for walks. Right now, I'm walking my baby in the park, and I've got my Super Blasts on. That's my way of manifestation. You can have your ways of manifestation. Maybe you can have your hydration drinks as and when you need. That's your way of manifestation. Maybe you can have the same breakfast that you have when you go out for a run. That's another way of manifestation. Second thing that you can do, which I was actually guilty of not doing at the start, but I found it to be incredibly useful when I was injured. Right at the beginning, when I was still in my plaster stage, when I still had crutches on, the first thing I did was mute every WhatsApp group that was related to running. And you know what? I think that probably did more worse than good, because out of sight, out of mind. Well, that didn't work. Randomly, after about 10 days, I opened WhatsApp and I just went through every single achievement that was in there. And then I opened Strava and I just gave out so many kudoses to all the park runners, to all the people who were running races. That actually felt really nice. And that's how the conversation started. I think on Strava, after I got injured, yes, I made a big deal about it. That, yeah, I'm injured, I've got a fracture and everything. But that started a conversation. People in this community really care. And that really helps by staying in touch with the running community. So yeah, don't cut them off. You will need them, even in your darkest days. And trust me, when you're injured and you're in peak performance, it's dark. It's dark to start with. So stay in touch with everyone. Third thing you can do when you're injured. First was manifestation. Second was keeping in touch with the running community. Number 3 is actually reframing the situation. Now, what I mean by reframing the situation is, look at it from a positive standpoint. It's like, okay, when you were running, there were certain things that you couldn't do. Now, you have all that free time. The half an hour, the hour. What are you going to do for that hour? Well, what I did was actually started spending more time with my baby. My 1-year-old, and I also picked up a couple of PS5 games which I was planning on playing for such a long time. And yeah, that's how I've been spending my time. Just being present, just being there for my baby. Actually going for long walks like I'm doing now with him. And that actually got me to start thinking of getting a running buggy, which I wasn't sure at start. But then I actually researched, and yeah, I think I'm gonna order one soon once I have clearance from the hospital that I can actually start running. I can actually start light jogging now, and I might do that, but I'm still worried. I'd much rather heal up properly. So that's another thing that you can do. Just start doing things that maybe you wanted to do but you can't because you have to go for a run. It's immensely gratifying, immensely gratifying now that running is out of the window, but you are actually doing things maybe that you were doing that got taken over by running, but you can start doing those again. You just have so much free time on your hands. It's not just the running time, it's actually getting ready for those runs. It's actually after completing your runs, you're just sitting there on Strava. It's that period as well. So say if you go out for a 10k and you have the same sort of pace as me, so that's an hour of doing a 10k, but then maybe an hour before that trying to think how you would run your 10k, looking at the weather, looking at what sort of shoes were you going to wear, and then after the run, like I mentioned, just sit there on Strava, start getting those kudoses in, looking at your pace, what you can do better for your next run. See, so much time. That's at least 2 hours or 2.5 hours that you can get back on other activities. Not bad, when you're not running. Number 4, set small achievable goals. I mean, us runners, out of any other sports people out there, know exactly what that means. When you're running any race, you break it down in your head. 5k, say you're shattered at 4k, take 100 meters at a time. 10k, half marathon, say you're at 15k, you got another 6k to go. You start thinking, oh, that's a kilometer and a park run to go. You break it down. A marathon, after 30k, every marathoner does that. They break it down even into smaller chunks. Let's take a kilometer at a time. Let's take 500 meters at a time. And that's how you break it down into small achievable goals when you're injured. First 2 weeks, I'll give you an example of what I did. First 2 weeks, I'm in the plaster. First goal is to get out of that plaster as soon as possible. Spoke to 2 doctors. One of them said, oh, you have to stay in there for a month. Second one said, it's like, actually, you can go into an air boot. Didn't have a clue what air boot was. Well, air boot turned out to be one of the best things that I ever bought. I'm injured, got rid of the plaster within 2 weeks, just for the foot to heal enough for it to be put into an air boot. What an air boot does is you pump air into the boot. If you saw my last video, it creates a little cocoon around your foot, and now you can start walking, maybe with a crutch in your hand, or if you have something high stack like Super Blast or Mizuno Neo Vista, which are around 45 millimeters in stack, you can just walk around without any crutches now. And you go up the stairs, you go down the stairs. Well, not quite drive because it's a chunky boot, but that's another step. Once the air boot comes off, now you can start wearing shoes with no stack, and then you start wearing your running shoes, and then you start wearing your high stack shoes, because if you're wearing high stack shoes, it actually hurts if your injury isn't healed. So that's pretty much the final step into your injury, where I am at the moment. So yeah, this is what you do. You just set these little goals, and as you start ticking them off, you just start feeling positive. You start feeling that, okay, you're going in the right direction. One of them for me was driving. I started driving within a month of getting injured, because my foot wasn't hurting, and obviously it helps with an automatic. But yeah, I mean, if your left foot is injured, then you can drive easily. Well, not a manual, but an automatic. But yeah, you know what I mean. Number 5, it's temporary. It's only a couple of months, or 3 months, or 6 months, or a year of your life, and you'll get back to normal. I mean, do your rehab exercises. Maybe you won't. Look, I'm just giving you the most positive outcome out of this, that you will get back to how you were before. Maybe you won't, but you will get something positive out of it. It crossed my mind that maybe I won't be able to run, and it's still at the back of my mind. I did a little jog and I wasn't that comfortable, but maybe I will be in a month's time. But yeah, it's temporary. You have to keep that in mind. And the moment you start thinking that way, you are there. You in your head, you are already there. You are back to how you were the day you got injured. See, those are pretty much the 5 points that I went through, the 5 things I did to stay positive. First couple of weeks, try as hard as you want. Unless you are experienced, unless you've had injuries like these, it's so hard to be positive. But eventually it sticks in your head. It's like, okay, I'm gonna have to do something to stay positive, because it's frustrating. It's extremely frustrating, and that frustration can be taken out on other things. So don't do that. Just try finding ways of staying positive when you're injured.